Hello, everyone, and welcome to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we're talking a little bit about going to sleep or not being able to sleep.
That's right. We are having some sleeping problems, and we're actually going to check out a couple of words related to this topic right now on Vocabulary Preview.
Vocabulary Preview.
Okay, so the first word is actually the technical word that describes being unable to sleep. It's called insomnia.
Right. So if you have insomnia, it means that you can't fall asleep. You can't sleep.
Okay, so this is a pretty serious condition. For example, if you have insomnia and you don't sleep for 3 or 4 nights, you're not going to do very well at work, right?
Right. Or if you're studying, you're tired at school, you can't concentrate. So it's a very big problem.
What's that other word, though? We have insomnia, but we also have another interesting disorder.
Right. If somebody is able to sleep but walks while they're sleeping, that person is called a sleepwalker.
That's right. And you don't actually just have to walk to be a sleepwalker.
Right.
You can do any number of strange things like basically acting like you're awake when you're not.
Exactly. So some people get up and walk, actually go outside. Some people get dressed. Some people even go downstairs and cook.
Yeah, that's right. And the worst is the people who eat because they gain weight and they don't know why.
Exactly. So sleepwalking is what you do. And if you do this, you're called a sleepwalker.
Okay, sleepwalk is the verb. Sleepwalker is the noun or the person.
All right, so we've taken a look at 2 words that we're going to find in our dialogue today. Why don't we go now and listen to the dialogue for the first time?
Alex, what's up with you? You look dreadful.
Hey, Jill. I don't know. I've been having trouble sleeping these past few weeks. I usually lie in bed for hours trying to get to sleep. I've tried stretching and different breathing techniques before going to bed. I've tried eating and not eating different foods. I've even tried counting sheep. And then, when I finally get to sleep, I have these really disturbing nightmares. So I usually wake up in a panic and more tired than before I went to sleep.
Wow. Maybe you should get that checked out. Maybe you're stressed?
Just take some sedatives. Works for me. Every so often, having some melatonin on hand helps me when I have trouble sleeping. It works on all kinds of sleeping disorders. It's the stuff pilots use to regulate their sleeping patterns.
I heard of that. But does that apply to Alex's situation?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Sounds like he only has transient insomnia since it's a recent thing, so taking melatonin should do the trick.
But shouldn't he be looking into why it's been happening?
Well, aren't you the little psychologist? Our buddy's having trouble sleeping. It's easy and curable. It's not something freakish like if he was a sleepwalker.
Well, there's that, too.
All right, we're back. So obviously this person not only has insomnia, but also has nightmares, sleepwalks, a mess.
That's right. And you can tell when someone hasn't been sleeping well. They have that look like there's bags under their eyes or they just look really tired. And so the friend here says, Alex, you look dreadful.
That's right, dreadful. So this is an adjective and it's a way to describe someone that looks terrible. You look horrible. You look tired. You look sleepy.
That's right. So this is not a compliment. This is something that you say when you're worried about someone. So for example, if someone's really, really tired, you say, you look dreadful. Or if someone is wearing very dirty clothes, they don't look like they went home yesterday, you say, oh, what's wrong? You look dreadful.
Right. I think you can also use it to describe objects or maybe food, right? Mm-hmm. This lasagna is dreadful.
It means it's very bad.
Right.
And you don't want to say that to the person who cooked it, of course.
Exactly. All right, so the person, obviously, because is suffering from insomnia, looks dreadful. And he was explaining what he does to try to fall asleep. For example, counting sheep, stretching, and he also said that he tried different breathing techniques.
Okay, so basically a technique is an approach to something, a kind of method. Mm-hmm. But in this case, we're talking about breathing techniques. So for some people, one breathing technique is breathing in through your nose and breathing out through your mouth. like that. So that's one kind of technique.
So a technique, as you say, is a way of doing something.
Yes.
So breathing techniques are different ways of breathing. So maybe you will relax, so maybe you'll fall asleep, things like this.
Exactly. It's one of those things that you might learn about in a yoga class, for example. There's different breathing techniques.
Right, and you can combine techniques with other words as well, adding the ing. For example, you have walking techniques, maybe to put less stress on your knees, or running techniques, swimming techniques. I think there's a technique for almost everything.
Just about anything you can do, there's a technique for it, I
Right.
think.
Yeah, for sure. All right, and well, moving on, he was talking about his nightmares, and he described his nightmares as disturbing. He has disturbing nightmares.
Okay, well, I think this is an important word to cover here, Marco, because we've heard the verb to disturb before. Like, I'm sorry to disturb you. It means I'm sorry to bother you. But disturbing is an adjective. It describes something that makes me very uncomfortable, right?
Right.
So, for example, a lot of times in the news, we see very disturbing images, car accidents or fires or bombs. And what's disturbing is when you see human beings who have been hurt. So, images that make you really uncomfortable or sad, these are disturbing.
Exactly. So disturbing nightmares are nightmares that are not very pleasant. They make him scared maybe or uncomfortable.
Right, like a dream, for example, where your parents die. It's pretty disturbing.
Exactly. All right. And well, one of his friends recommended, you know what? Stop with all of this. Just take some sedatives.
Okay, so sedatives are a kind of medicine that help a person relax or that help make a person tired.
Right. So I think it comes from the verb to sedate.
Yes.
And basically that is to calm down, to tranquilize.
That's right. So in this case, we're talking about a person, but you can also give an animal sedatives. For example, if you want to take your dog on an airplane, the dog needs to relax, you give it some sedatives.
Exactly. And I think when he mentioned a specific name of a sedative, it's melatonin.
That's right. So melatonin, melatonin, is a chemical that our bodies naturally produce that help calm us down. And so a lot of pharmaceutical companies or drug companies sell melatonin in a pill form. It's a chemical that helps you relax.
Exactly. So obviously, if you take melatonin, you're going to feel sleepy or you're going to be very relaxed and you're going to fall asleep a lot easier.
Well, hopefully.
Hopefully. That's right. So, and well, the whole thing that we've been talking about, insomnia, sleepwalking, these are called sleeping disorders.
Right, or you might also hear the term sleep disorders. They mean problems with sleeping. So people who either cannot fall asleep, or people who have bad dreams, or people who sleepwalk.
Exactly. So a disorder is something of an illness or a condition that is not normal. So for example, as you said, a sleeping disorder or a sleep disorder, it means that you're not able to sleep properly or normally.
But there are other kinds of disorders, right?
Right. I guess many people have heard of eating disorders.
Okay, so that's basically people who do not eat like everyone else.
Exactly. So that's what happens with a disorder. All right. So we've taken a look at a lot of vocab. Now it's time for us to take a look at Fluency Builder. But before that, why don't we listen to the dialogue again?
Alex, what's up with you? You look dreadful.
Hey, Jill. I don't know. I've been having trouble sleeping these past few weeks. I usually lie in bed for hours trying to get to sleep. I've tried stretching and different breathing techniques before going to bed. I've tried eating and not eating different foods. I've even tried counting sheep. And then, when I finally get to sleep, I have these really disturbing nightmares. So I usually wake up in a panic and more tired than before I went to sleep.
Wow. Maybe you should get that checked out. Maybe you're stressed?
Just take some sedatives. Works for me. Every so often, having some melatonin on hand helps me when I have trouble sleeping. It works on all kinds of sleeping disorders. It's the stuff pilots use to regulate their sleeping patterns.
I heard of that. But does that apply to Alex's situation?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Sounds like he only has transient insomnia since it's a recent thing, so taking melatonin should do the trick.
But shouldn't he be looking into why it's been happening?
Well, aren't you the little psychologist? Our buddy's having trouble sleeping. It's easy and curable. It's not something freakish like if he was a sleepwalker.
Well, there's that, too.
All right, we're back. So now we have 3 main phrases for Fluency Builder. Why don't we start with the first one?
Okay, so you heard in today's dialogue an interesting phrase. I don't know if it exists in other languages, but in English we say when you're trying to fall asleep, there's a good technique to help you do so. You count sheep.
Yeah, I think you see it in cartoons all the time. A person is sleeping, and over that cartoon's head is a little cloud, and you see sheep jumping over a fence, right?
So, yeah, basically there's a fence, and you say 1, 2,
Right.
3, and the process of counting helps relax a person.
And then you fall asleep.
Right.
So counting sheep, I guess you're not literally out in a field counting sheep. You're just imagining sheep in your head, and you're trying to fall asleep.
That's right, counting sheep.
All right. And, well, one of his friends recommended that maybe he should go to a doctor. And Jill said that by saying, maybe you should get that checked out.
Okay, so to get something checked out, to get it checked out, this means to have a professional give you a suggestion or to have a professional look at something.
Exactly. So maybe you should get examined. Maybe you should go to the doctor.
This isn't just about disorders, right? I mean, what if I have a sore tooth? I could say this.
Right. So if you have a toothache, I would recommend, maybe you should get that checked out by my dentist.
Right. Or maybe if you have a bad rash, you know, your skin is very red. I say, Marco, I think you should get that checked out by a doctor.
Exactly. So to get something checked, to get something examined by a doctor or a professional. All right. And the last phrase that we have for you.
So the last phrase we have today comes from a suggestion at the end. The friend suggests taking melatonin. And he says, listen, taking melatonin should do the trick.
Right. So if you end a phrase by saying that should do the trick, basically you're saying that should solve your problem. That should help you.
Exactly. So the trick, you don't have to think about what the trick is. It's just a way of saying it should fix your problem. So for example, when someone is fixing my car and they have one more thing to do and it's finished, he says, the car mechanic might say, that should do the trick.
Right.
That means problem solved.
Or maybe you want to hang a picture on your wall. So somebody puts a nail in the wall and that should do the trick, and maybe that'll hold up the painting.
Done.
Okay. So that's a way of saying that should solve the problem. This should be the solution. That should be all.
Okay.
Okay, so why don't we go back and listen to the dialogue one last time.
Alex, what's up with you? You look dreadful.
Hey, Jill. I don't know. I've been having trouble sleeping these past few weeks. I usually lie in bed for hours trying to get to sleep. I've tried stretching and different breathing techniques before going to bed. I've tried eating and not eating different foods. I've even tried counting sheep. And then, when I finally get to sleep, I have these really disturbing nightmares. So I usually wake up in a panic and more tired than before I went to sleep.
Wow. Maybe you should get that checked out. Maybe you're stressed?
Just take some sedatives. Works for me. Every so often, having some melatonin on hand helps me when I have trouble sleeping. It works on all kinds of sleeping disorders. It's the stuff pilots use to regulate their sleeping patterns.
I heard of that. But does that apply to Alex's situation?
Yeah, sure. Why not? Sounds like he only has transient insomnia since it's a recent thing, so taking melatonin should do the trick.
But shouldn't he be looking into why it's been happening?
Well, aren't you the little psychologist? Our buddy's having trouble sleeping. It's easy and curable. It's not something freakish like if he was a sleepwalker.
Well, there's that, too.
All right, we're back. So talking about dreaming, nightmares, insomnia, all of this, what do you do if you can't fall asleep?
I don't really have this problem personally because
fall asleep anywhere.
I could fall asleep anywhere, anytime. Knock on wood.
I've heard some people take like warm milk before going to sleep.
Yes, some people take milk, although I also heard that dairy products before bedtime can make you have nightmares.
Oh, really?
If you eat cheese before bed.
I've heard that as well. I've heard that if you have seafood before bed, you'll have nightmares as well. But actually, have you ever had a dream when you are doing something and you wake up in the middle of that?
Yes.
I remember once I was dreaming, I was drinking a soda. And all of a sudden I woke up and I had my hand like in the air, like doing the
Weird.
action of me actually drinking the soda.
Actually, sometimes this happens to me when I'm falling asleep. I imagine I'm on a bike or something, and I start to feel myself moving my legs. And I wake up and I'm like, wait, what am I doing? So the brain is very strange, I think, especially in those times when you're kind of asleep and you're kind of awake.
Also, when you wake up suddenly, I don't know if other people have experienced this, but you feel like you're falling or something.
Yeah.
All of a sudden, you just wake up like with a shake.
Yeah, your body moves.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really
very scary. Your heart starts to beat. I don't know why that happens though.
It's unusual. Well, we're curious to know what your sleep habits are. Do you have a hard time sleeping, or are you like me? It's very easy for you to fall asleep. Let us know at our website, englishpod.com.
All right, we'll see you guys there.
Bye.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
Fall asleep. Go to sleep. A drug that calms or relaxes someone. Sedative. A dream that caused horror. Nightmare. The regular time of sleeping. Sleeping pattern. Accomplish the desired task. Do the trick. People who have a medical disorder of the sleep. Sleeping disorder. Fall asleep. Get to sleep.
Let's try that faster.
A dream that caused horror. Nightmare. Fall asleep. Go to sleep. A drug that calms or relaxes someone. Sedative. The regular time of sleeping. Sleeping pattern. People who have a medical disorder of the sleep. Sleeping disorder. Accomplish the desired task. Do the trick. Fall asleep. Get to sleep.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Get to sleep. Sometimes I need to put on some music in order to get to sleep. Get to sleep. I got to sleep really late last night because I couldn't stop worrying about my presentation today. Get to sleep. I couldn't get to sleep until after midnight. Nightmare. I've had the same nightmare night after night for the past month. Nightmare. I woke up from my nightmare just before I found out what was behind the door. Nightmare. I never have dreams, but every so often I get nightmares. Sedative. They gave me a sedative before I went into surgery. Sedative. I often use a mild sedative in order to calm myself down when I get anxious. Sedative. I've heard that some people put sedatives in other people's drinks at bars in order to rob them. Sleeping pattern. My sleeping patterns have been all over the place recently. Sleeping pattern. I have a consistent sleeping pattern and I intend to stick to it. Sleeping pattern. I managed to regulate my sleeping pattern, so now I can't even sleep in if I wanted to. Do the trick. If you start getting tired while studying, drinking some coffee should do the trick. Do the trick. Just add some more salt to the soup and that should do the trick. Do the trick. If you turn up the volume of the microphone a bit, it should do the trick.
Hello everyone, welcome back to another lesson with us here at English Pod. My name is Marco.
And I'm Erica.
And today we're going back to school.
That's right. We're talking about my least favorite subject.
That would be math.
That's right.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about math. Now, I know that many of you, of course, know math.
Right.
But do you know the operations in English?
Many people find it hard to find the right words to talk about math in English.
Right? So that's what we're going to be looking at today.
And we'll also look at some names that you can call people who are really, really, really smart.
So let's listen to our dialogue for the first time, and then we'll come back and look at those math words.
All right, children, let's review. Tommy, pay attention.
Sorry, Miss Cadlick.
Okay, Crystal, now tell me. What's 4 plus 11?
15.
Miss Cadlick always asks Crystal. She's such a teacher's pet.
Okay, and what about 56 minus 60?
-4.
Very good. 12 times 12?
Very good. Suck up.
144.
0 divided by 1?
0.
How did you know that? Okay, smarty pants. The square root of 2.
Bet you're not going to get that one, know-it-all.
1.4, 14, 2135.
All right, so that's one smart little girl, huh?
Yeah, pretty smart. Actually, smarter than me in math.
All right, so let's take a look at some of those words that the teacher used to ask her about certain operations in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Okay, so like we said, you guys know how to do math and you know the words in your language, but maybe in English it's a little bit harder to find the right word. So let's look at those now.
Okay, so let's look at the first question that she asked. What's 4 plus 11?
4 plus 11.
Okay, plus.
Plus.
All right. So 4 plus 11, Erica, is?
Let me take a look at here. 15.
15. Okay, so we are adding, right?
Yes.
So that's how you would say. Let's go with an easy one. 2 plus 2.
4.
4, right?
Yep.
Or 5 plus 5.
10.
10. Okay.
You're really testing my skills.
So that's how you would add numbers.
Now, what about taking away numbers?
Okay. So taking away or subtracting. All right, let's test you again. In the dialogue, she said 56 minus 60.
56 minus 60 equals -4.
Okay, minus. So that's negative, right?
Minus.
So, and of course, if you have 56 apples and you take away 60, you are left with
-4.
-4.
Well, actually, you're left with 0 apples.
Yeah, exactly. Now, that answer is also interesting. -4.
-4.
That means -4, right?
4 less than 0.
4 less than 0. Very good. -4. Okay, so now for our next operation. 12 times 12.
12 times 12.
12 times 12.
Now, Marco, don't ask me the answer.
All right, 12 times 12 equals 144. Now, that's multiplying.
Right, or multiplication.
Multiplication. Okay, so this times part, it's very easy to remember because, for example, 4 times 4. You can just say 4, the number 4, and you add it, right?
4 times.
4 times. 4 plus 4 plus 4 plus 4.
Right, so times.
Times.
Now the opposite of times.
All right, the opposite of multiplication is division.
Division.
Okay, so in our dialogue, the teacher said 0 divided by 1.
0 divided by 1.
0 divided by 1. Any number divided by 0 is 0.
All right, so let's give another example. 15 divided by 3.
All right, so 15 divided by 3 equals
5.
5. Exactly.
So divided by.
Divided by. Very good. So after division, the teacher was very impressed, and now she asked a very hard mathematical operation, especially for a girl this age. The square root of 2.
The square root of.
Square root.
So let's give some examples to show what is the square root.
Okay. So if I ask you the square root of 9.
3.
3, right?
Yes.
What about the square root of 4?
2.
2. Okay. So now one more. The square root of 16.
4.
4. Okay, so you notice the pattern, right? And I'm sure everyone knows this in their own language, how you would get a square root.
Exactly. So this language is pretty simple. You all know it in your own language, but let's hear it again in English one more time with the dialogue.
All right, children, let's review. Tommy, pay attention.
Sorry, Miss Cadlick.
Okay, Crystal, now tell me. What's 4 plus 11? 15.
Miss Cadlick always asks Crystal. She's such a teacher's pet.
Okay, and what about 56 minus 60? -4. Very good. 12 times 12?
Very good. Suck up.
144. 0 divided by 1?
0.
How did you know that? Okay, smarty pants. The square root of 2.
Bet you're not going to get that one, know-it-all.
1.4142135.
Okay, so we understand the mathematical operations that we saw here. Very easy. But now there was another little kid in there who was very, I think, envious or jealous.
Yeah, Tommy.
Tommy, right? So he called her a couple of different names.
Well, let's look at those now in Fluency Builder.
Fluency builder.
Okay, so the first one that he called Crystal, the little girl, he called her a teacher's pet.
Teacher's pet.
Teacher's pet.
A teacher's pet.
So, Erica, what exactly is a teacher's pet?
It is the favorite student the teacher has in that class.
All right, so it's always the student that's helping the teacher.
Yeah, the smartest student.
Yeah. The teacher's pet.
Yeah, and it has a negative meaning in English.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that it's a good thing to be the teacher's pet.
Like the teacher thinks it's good.
Yeah.
But all of the friends and the classmates, they think it's bad.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Teacher's pet.
And similar to teacher's pet is a suck up.
Suck up.
Suck up.
Again, suck up. What is this? What is a suck up?
A suck up is a person who tries really, really hard to make the teacher like him.
Okay, now we can also use it outside of the classroom, right?
Yeah, at work, maybe.
Okay, there is always at work, there is always one person who's the suck up, right?
Yes. Now, again, this has a negative meaning in English.
Yeah, I guess in the workplace, the rest of your colleagues don't really like that person who's considered to be the suck up, who's always trying to please the boss.
Exactly.
All right.
All right, so the teacher calls Crystal a smarty pants.
Smarty pants.
Smarty pants.
Okay, so this is also a little name calling, right? So what is a smarty pants?
Somebody who is too smart.
Too smart.
Who tries too hard to be smart.
Now, this is only for little kids, right? I wouldn't call you a smarty pants. Right?
No, it's definitely for children. Adults don't say this.
Unless maybe you are joking or having fun with someone.
Yeah, but if you say it, you are suggesting that you're being like a child.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, smarty pants. And our last one, and this is also a very good phrase and a way to describe someone, know-it-all.
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 A know-it-all.
Sometimes you say Mr. Know-it-all, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so what is a know-it-all?
Somebody who tries to show everyone that they know it all.
They know everything.
Yeah, they're so smart.
They have the answers to everything.
But they really, really try and show everyone that they know everything.
These people can be sometimes a little bit irritating, right?
Yeah, very, very annoying.
Annoying.
Yeah.
All right, so it's not a good thing to be a know-it-all all the time.
Yeah, actually, all of these phrases are not good things to be.
Okay, so let's listen to our dialogue one more time, and then we're gonna come back and Erica's gonna tell us how much she hates math.
All right, children, let's review. Tommy, pay attention.
Sorry, Miss Cadlick.
Okay, Crystal, now tell me. What's 4 plus 11?
15.
Miss Cadlick always asks Crystal. She's such a teacher's pet.
Okay, and what about 56 minus 60?
-4.
Very good. 12 times 12?
Very good. Suck up.
144.
0 divided by 1?
0.
How did you know that? Okay, smarty pants. The square root of 2.
Bet you're not going to get that one, know-it-all.
1.4142135.
All right, so Erica, you were telling me that you hated math, or you still do.
Well, yes, that's true. I really do hate math. And even doing a simple, like 16 plus 32 is too hard for me.
So you were never really that type of person that's good with numbers.
No, I'm terrible with numbers. I can't even remember my own phone number.
Really?
That's true. Like, I really, if someone asks me for my phone number, I have to look on my phone in the address book to find it.
Well, yeah, sometimes numbers can be difficult. I kind of liked math when I was younger. It just made sense. So.
Well, I guess there's a reason why I'm an English teacher and not a math teacher.
And I was actually not very good at language.
But here you are.
Exactly. Well, I mean, in Spanish, I like grammar. Not very good at that, all those rules.
Yeah, but you're pretty good at English, so that's all right with me.
That's all right.
Yeah.
What about you guys? Tell us what your favorite subject or your least favorite subject in school was. What about you? Do you have any favorite subject? Or did you have a favorite subject?
History.
History.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I liked chemistry for a while.
Oh, God. Chemistry involves numbers.
Well, a little bit, but it was interesting as well.
Hey, what's your favorite subject?
Probably math. What about you?
Really? Mine's history. Why math?
I like solving problems. It feels like a puzzle.
That's interesting. I've always found math hard.
A lot of people do, but it's fun once you get it.
What's your favorite part of math?
Geometry, I think. I like working with shapes.
I was terrible at geometry. Too many formulas.
True, but they make sense if you practice.
I'm better at basic math, like addition and subtraction.
That's a good start. Math builds on itself, you know.
Yeah, but algebra, no way.
Algebra's not so bad. It's just like solving a riddle.
I don't know. Letters with numbers, too confusing.
It confused me at first, too. Then I practiced more.
Do you ever get stuck on math problems?
All the time, but I try not to give up.
What do you do when you're stuck?
I go step by step or ask the teacher.
That makes sense. Maybe I should try that.
You should. Math is easier with a little help.
Maybe I'll give it another chance.
You should. Who knows, you might end up liking it.
Maybe, but history's still my favorite.
Fair enough. We all have different favorites.
True. Hey, wanna help me with math sometime?
Sure, let's do it after school.
Great. Thanks.
No problem. Let's make math less scary.
The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word. Go over what has been learned.
Review.
Add.
Plus.
The student a teacher likes best.
Teacher's pet.
Take away. Subtract.
Minus.
To multiply.
Times.
A person who always tries to make the teacher or boss like him or her.
Suck up.
Separate to some parts.
Divided by.
A person who tries to show he is so smart.
Smarty pants.
The number obtained when a number is multiplied by itself.
Square root.
I think something is likely to happen.
I'll bet.
The person claims or pretends to know everything.
Know it all.
A math problem where each side is equal.
Equation.
A mathematical process such as adding, multiplying, subtracting, etc.
Operation.
The process of adding a number to itself a certain number of times.
Multiplication.
The process of adding two numbers together.
Addition.
The process of taking one number away from another.
Subtraction.
The process of dividing something into parts.
Division.
Let's try that faster. The number obtained when a number is multiplied by itself.
Square root.
The process of dividing something into parts.
Division.
A person who tries to show he is so smart.
Smarty pants.
A math problem where each side is equal.
Equation.
To multiply.
Times.
Take away. Subtract.
Minus.
The student a teacher likes best.
Teacher's pet.
Go over what has been learned.
Review.
Add.
Plus.
I think something is likely to happen.
I'll bet.
The process of adding a number to itself a certain number of times.
Multiplication.
The person claims or pretends to know everything.
Know it all.
A person who always tries to make the teacher or boss like him or her.
Suck up.
Separate to some parts.
Divided by.
The process of taking one number away from another.
Subtraction.
A mathematical process such as adding, multiplying, subtracting, etc.
Operation.
The process of adding two numbers together.
Addition.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Plus. Everyone knows that 2 plus 2 equals 4. Plus. We need 5 tickets plus an extra one for John. Plus. I have $2,000 in my bank account plus an extra $500 under my bed. Minus. The ticket costs $100 minus a 10% discount. Minus. I don't understand this. Do you know what 1 minus 1 equals? Minus. There were 5 cans of tuna here minus 2 that I ate this morning. Where are the rest? Divided by. To solve this problem, you'll need to divide the number of days in a year by the number of days worked. Divided by. I weigh 140 pounds, so if I divide that by 2.2, I will know my weight in kilograms. Divided by. I don't think we have enough food. We only have 2 pizzas and we need to divide them by 20 people. Mommy, everyone at school says I'm a teacher's pet. There was a kid that used to bring my teacher an apple every day. He was such a teacher's pet. I always hated the kid that was the teacher's pet. He would always get more attention. Suck up. We have a colleague at work who's the biggest suck up. He's always being nice to our boss. Suck up. I hate it when someone tries to suck up to you just because you work with Britney Spears. Suck up. There is a job opening next month for a managerial position. I think I'm going to have to act like a suck up to get that job.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to English Pod. My name is Marco.
My name is Catherine, and today we have an elementary level lesson about food, one of my favorite things to talk about.
That's right. We are going to talk about food, but specifically, we're going to talk about a family barbecue.
Okay, what is a family barbecue? Well, I'll just say a few words first. A barbecue is usually something that we do outside. We bring food, we play games, maybe have some drinks, and a lot of the food is grilled. So that's what we're talking about today. We're going to hear this dialogue first, and then we'll come back to talk about it.
Is everything ready for the big family barbecue tomorrow?
Yep, the steaks and chicken are marinated, and I also bought hamburger buns.
We should also cook a couple dozen hot dogs and kebabs.
Yeah, good idea. We could put some lawn furniture outside next to the grill. I also set up the tent outside so we can hide from the sun if it gets too hot.
Great! I asked Grace to bring cups and serviettes, as she is also bringing 2 big coolers for the beers.
This is going to be a great barbecue.
Oh no, it's raining!
All right, we're back. So probably a couple of words you didn't really understand. So let's take a look at those now in language takeaway.
Language takeaway.
Lots of food words, Marco. The first one is barbecue. We were talking about that a minute ago. A barbecue is something we do usually for something, a special occasion or for dinner. It's a summertime thing. You know, you go outside when it's warm and the entire family comes and we have food. Sometimes people even bring food.
Right. And actually, as you mentioned, it's something that you do a barbecue. You have a family barbecue, but it's also a verb to barbecue something. So to cook meat on a barbecue. So that's cooking meat, not in a stove, not with gas. Usually it's under a fire or very warm, intense heat coming from coals.
Exactly. And so before we cook food, usually before we cook meat on the grill, before we barbecue it, we have to marinate it, okay? So in this situation, the steaks and the chicken are already marinated.
Okay. So to marinate something which is a verb, or the steaks and chickens are marinated, which is an adjective. So basically means that you have added spices and maybe some lemon juice, different herbs or salts to the meats in order to give it flavor before you cook them.
Exactly. Sometimes in Indian cooking, for example, you marinate with a yogurt sauce and you leave the meat in the refrigerator for a whole night.
Exactly.
So marinating or to marinate is a process to give flavor to food.
Very good. All right. So we've marinated our food, our chicken, our steaks, but also we have hamburgers. So we need hamburger buns. What are buns?
Okay. Buns are pieces of bread that are for special kinds of food. So you have a hamburger bun. It's a round piece of bread, and the hamburger goes on one piece and under another piece.
Mm-hmm.
A hot dog bun is different. It's like a piece of bread that's folded and the hot dog goes in the middle. So bun is a special kind of bread for these kinds of foods.
All right, so remember, if you want to have a hot dog, you need to buy hot dog buns. So people know already that you're talking about bread. And if you want to buy a hamburger bread, you say a hamburger bun.
That's right. So hamburger buns and hot dog buns. But after we talk about having the hamburger buns, we discuss how many hot dogs we're going to cook. So the person says we should cook a couple dozen hot dogs.
All right, so a dozen is 12 units of something.
Right, so eggs are sold in dozens. We buy a dozen eggs, we buy 12 eggs.
Okay, or you can say half a dozen, that means 6.
Half of 12. And a couple dozen is usually around 24, 25.
Okay, very good. So a dozen hot dogs, and they are also getting kebabs. What are kebabs?
One of my favorite foods. Kebabs are sticks or skewers of meat. So you have a very thin stick, and you put the meat on it, and you put that on the grill, and you cook the meat on the grill.
So, yeah, those are very common. For example, in the Middle East, right? You have kebabs, sticks of meat, and also maybe some vegetables put on it, and you grill them.
Exactly. Very flavorful, very tasty meat.
All right, so why don't we listen to our dialogue again, and we'll come back shortly to look at some more words.
Is everything ready for the big family barbecue tomorrow?
Yep, the steaks and chicken are marinated, and I also bought hamburger buns.
We should also cook a couple dozen hot dogs and kebabs.
Yeah, good idea. We could put some lawn furniture outside next to the grill. I also set up the tent outside so we can hide from the sun if it gets too hot.
Great! I asked Grace to bring cups and serviettes, as she is also bringing 2 big coolers for the beers.
This is going to be a great barbecue.
All right, we're back. So now why don't we go to a second part of language takeaway and take a look at 5 more words.
Language takeaway.
All right, the first word that we're going to look at is lawn furniture. So we're going to have lawn furniture outside.
Okay, so before we even start thinking about food, we have to decide where people will sit at this barbecue. And so we have to find out how much lawn furniture we have. Furniture can be a sofa, a table, a chair. We have furniture in the house. But lawn furniture is furniture for the outside. A lawn is the green grass outside your house.
So it's usually not going to be made out of wood, for example, because if it rains, it might get ruined, right? So usually it's either plastic or maybe even rock or stone.
Or metal.
Or metal. So that's what lawn furniture is. Furniture that is made to be outside in your backyard, for example, or that sits on your lawn.
Exactly. And so we're going to be on the lawn furniture. We have the special thing for cooking meat outside, the grill.
Okay, so we mentioned that you grill chicken or you grill steaks, but it's also a noun, a grill. So a grill, what is that?
A grill is like a stove for the outside, but instead of having electricity to make the fire, we have gas or propane. And this is something that we light on fire, and we use coals to keep the insides very warm. And so this is just a way to cook meats or even vegetables outside.
Okay, perfect. So that is a grill. And if you're going to cook foods or vegetables in this way, so you're going to grill them. All right. And, well, just in case it gets hot and you want to hide from the sun, we are going to set up a tent.
Okay, a tent. You can sleep in a tent, but in this case, a tent is just a covering outside. So maybe some cloth or some fabric that will stand over us when we sit down or want to be outside. It's also a way to protect us from the rain.
Right. So as you mentioned, a tent is something that you set up temporarily made out of cloth or plastic to protect you from the sun or rain. Or if you're going camping, you sleep in one. All right. And now that they have all the food, they need cups. And then they mentioned this strange word. It kind of sounds French. Serviettes.
Serviettes. So I do think it comes from the French word. This is a British way of saying napkins.
A napkin.
It's like paper for cleaning your hands and cleaning your mouth that you throw away.
Okay, so you can say napkins, or if you want to sound a little bit more fancier, you can say serviettes.
And speaking of fancy, let's talk about beer. Where do we keep beer? It has to stay cold, right?
Right. So usually you would place it in a refrigerator, but if you're outside or you're going camping, you want to keep them cold or you want to keep something hot. You place it in a cooler.
Okay, so a cooler is a plastic bin or a plastic box that we put all of the ice in and the drinks. So it's not just for beer, it's also for Coke and Sprite and all these different drinks.
Right, so it's usually made to keep something cool, but as I said, if you want to keep something warm, you can also keep it in the cooler. It keeps the temperature of the foods.
And the nice thing is that it's not electric, so you can use it anywhere.
Right. All right, so that's all the words for today. Why don't we listen to our dialogue for the last time?
Is everything ready for the big family barbecue tomorrow?
Yep, the steaks and chicken are marinated, and I also bought hamburger buns.
We should also cook a couple dozen hot dogs and kebabs.
Yeah, good idea. We could put some lawn furniture outside next to the grill. I also set up the tent outside so we can hide from the sun if it gets too hot.
Great! I asked Grace to bring cups and serviettes, as she is also bringing 2 big coolers for the beers.
This is going to be a great barbecue.
Oh no, it's raining!
All right, we're back. So family barbecues and doing these things. Did you do these when you were young at home? Do you still like to do it?
All the time. I love barbecues. It's one of my favorite ways to eat food. The nice thing about a barbecue is you get to sit outside and relax, and there's nothing better than nice, fresh grilled meat.
Right, and well, you have all your friends over, so you're having a couple of beers and you're having some meat, and it's actually a really nice way of just having something at home with good friends and family, right?
Exactly, and some of the most important barbecues we have are in the summer near July 4th. And so people like to have July 4th barbecues where you celebrate Independence Day and sit outside and drink and have hot dogs and hamburgers and macaroni and cheese.
Actually, well, I was in Chile. I noticed that as well. Near their festivities for their independence, which is September 18th, a lot of people get together and have barbecues, and it's so popular that pretty much every house in the neighborhood you can smell somebody barbecuing on the weekend.
You're making me so hungry.
All right, guys, so if you have any questions, any doubts, or if it's common for you guys to barbecue back home, then why don't you send us a couple of comments at englishpod.com, and we'll see everyone there.
Bye.
Bye. The English Pod Audio Review. Listen to the meaning, then say the vocabulary word.
A meal cooked out of doors, over an open fire. Barbecue. Be soaked in marinade. Marinate. A group of 12. Dozen. Pieces of roasted meat, fish, and vegetables on a skewer. Kebab. Utensil with a metal grate. Parallel metal bars. For cooking over a fire. Grill. Portable shelter of canvas, held up by poles, rope, and pegs. Tent. A small square of cloth or paper. Serviette. A container, vessel, or apparatus for cooling. Cooler. Furniture intended for use outside in the yard. Lawn furniture. A round bun shaped to hold a hamburger patty. Hamburger bun.
Let's try that faster.
A round bun shaped to hold a hamburger patty. Hamburger bun. A meal cooked out of doors over an open fire. Barbecue. A container, vessel, or apparatus for cooling. Cooler. Be soaked in marinade. Marinate. Utensil with a metal grate, parallel metal bars, for cooking over a fire. Grill. Portable shelter of canvas held up by poles, rope, and pegs. Tent. Pieces of roasted meat, fish, and vegetables on a skewer. Kebab. Furniture intended for use outside in the yard. Lawn furniture. A group of 12. Dozen. A small square of cloth or paper. Serviette.
Now say the word and hear it in a sentence.
Barbecue. How about we have a barbecue tomorrow night? Barbecue. In the summertime at dinner, there is always the smell of someone in our neighborhood having a barbecue. Barbecue. Can you smell the barbecue? My mouth is watering. Marinate. Marinated steaks are much more tasty and juicier than regular steaks. Marinate. The only thing I know about my friend's secret recipe is that she marinates the chicken breasts overnight. Marinate. Marinating meat makes the meat more tender. Lawn furniture. We have a whole bunch of lawn furniture and a swimming pool in our backyard. Lawn furniture. The home store down the road is having a sale on lawn furniture. Lawn furniture. The party ended abruptly when people started throwing the lawn furniture into the pool. Grill. My favorite food is steak done on the grill. Grill. After you finish cutting up the vegetables, wrap them in some aluminum foil and place it on top of the grill. Grill. You should always clean the grill after you use it. Cooler. We brought a cooler with us to the beach so that we could keep the drinks and the sandwich meat cold. Cooler. He filled up a cooler with ice and then placed the medical specimen carefully inside. Cooler. When we go camping, we always have a cooler or two to keep food cold.